The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. One of the toughest tracks in motorsports right here in Dover, Delaware, the Dover Motor Speedway. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees on the straightaways, the high bank concrete, high-speed track, one that will eat drivers alive. And once you master it, this is usually a driver's favorite track. So many different styles, so many different approaches, and the sensation of high speeds is what will happen for 125 laps here this evening. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Truck Series, round number 8 right here at Dover. Again, 125 laps, 125 miles. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck. Dirt here helping me out with the calls. So, Dirt, I mean, we just gotta rip the Band-Aid off. These tough trucks have been a tough series. It has been a very arduous few races with a lot of caution flags and a lot of chaos. And, well, this is a track that may add to that tally, or they may surprise us.
Yeah, I don't think Dover's going to be much of a remedy for the issues that have plagued the drivers, but it is definitely going to put on a show. It's one of those tracks that I've always felt was very unique. I know that throughout the years, Dover's reputation has kind of dipped and rose. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people thought it was boring. I've always thought it was unique and an interesting challenge, even if the racing product wasn't the best. So I look forward to Dover, and hopefully becomes a points race in real life, but that's a podcast discussion, of which this is not. What we're actually doing is letting these boys get their qualifying times in. And again, Corey, qualifying may not be the most important this week.
Well, I may counter you with that, because starting up front surely is going to be advantageous to your night. So getting out of the hornet's nest, so to speak, will be important here as we trudge on through here on PTR TV. Of course, if you're watching on Twitch, consider hitting the follow button and the subscribe button there. $5 a month, custom emotes, double points, and use those double points for some free merch in the grand scheme of things here. But you can see Jonathan Evans leading the charge, Zach Carr in second. But maybe in the warm-up, we'll go over the massive list of penalties coming from last week's race at Indy, which 64-lap race last week at Indy. So I can't remember what the distance was, the scheduled distance, but we ran long. But Indy did lead to a lot of cautions, and that will shake up the starting lineup. But thus far, now Alex McCollum has jumped to the top of the board.
23-0 for the current pole sitter. They got plenty of time to get some more laps in, though. Jonathan Evans going to be P2 just barely by about 100th of a second. Zach Carr going to be P3. Chilcutt back there. These are some very close lap times, Corey. The first 11, or the first 10, are within a tenth of a second of one another. That is incredibly competitive. Even for a fixed setup league, that's closer than you usually see. So this could be quite the show if they can get those green flag laps clicking off. They might be pretty close in pace. It'll be definitely fun to watch, but it seems like pretty much everybody's wrapped up their qualifying efforts. Just a few seconds to run out the clock. Barney is taking a well-needed rest here, getting ready for the start of the race up there. And yeah, getting closer.
Absolutely. Hopefully he doesn't have to overexert that rotator cuff, because I don't know what kind of insurance here area is providing here at the track staff here at Dover. Of course, Dover just updated in the iRacing service to a higher visual aesthetic, and We saw last night, and we've seen in the other official races here on iRacing this week, this track takes a lot of rubber. And one thing we'll probably see, it doesn't just put rubber down, it actually takes rubber up very realistically to how concrete does under caution flag. So this dynamic track surface will definitely allow these trucks to move around.
It will, and this track has been surprisingly multi-groove. At least as far as iRacing is concerned. I've watched a few races here across a few different leagues, and I've seen the drivers use the top, I've seen them use the bottom, and sometimes it's hard to tell which is better. So when this track rubbers up and these guys get a groove built up, you might see some good opportunities for overtaking.
Is Jeremy Miller trying to forecast something that may happen in 125 laps? One of the tracks that you actually... whoa, is that... I didn't realize that happened. The photographer actually aims to the vehicle once he pulls into victory lane. Little cool detail touches there. Kudos to iRacing. I've been actually giving them a lot more credit than I've ever have before.
Yeah, can't say I've ever noticed that one before, but I think iRacing has probably seen the myriad of drivers who just try to find every way to break into the infield at every track and decided, you know what, let's give them a little secret that isn't just that same cutout of Dale Jr. that's been at every track for, 20 years.
And I still do look for that, and it is harder to find in recent builds. But let's just go over the point standings here after race number 7. 263 points on the season. Garrett Conrath up, Cole Cabry in second, and Jeremy Miller, Chase Cabry, and Alex Chilcutt. And then you can see in that small yellow text, that is the race to the cut line there. And Travis Beckner, 3 points up on the cut line. Brad Slaughter, 6 points. Cody Dempster, 6 points. Doesn't seem like this season is already about halfway to it, but we are, including today, I believe, 5 races to that chase line. And we do have 2 very difficult tracks lining up. Going to be heading to Talladega and Milwaukee, which is largely going to be a wild card. Throw even Darlington in there. So those cut line drivers have some difficult tracks to cement their playoff lives for.
Yeah, when you're a driver, you always look at the schedule, you look for the tracks that you're good at, that you're familiar with, and you kind of mark those off and say, that's my chance. If I'm not doing too well, I can get some points there. Not really so much the case for Talladega and Milwaukee being the wild card that you don't really go to in any official series. There's not really going to be much prior setup knowledge for the setup builder of the league. It's going to be a wild card there, and then Darlington. It's Darlington. It's not an easy track. There's people that like it, but even the people that are very good there and that like it a lot, you'd be hard pressed to really mark it off as a guarantee for some points because it's a crazy track. So it'll be an interesting end to the regular season, that's for certain. Some good points battles all throughout the grid and very close to that cut line. So this may be one of the last few known quantities for a while, really, on the schedule here, Corey.
Absolutely. Got to say, Admin did play them a nice card there because the Cup in the Pro Series heading to Daytona Road, which, of course, that hasn't been used since 2021 at a real-world level. So that'll be a wild card as well for those series, but we'll be heading at least to Milwaukee, which... Do the trucks actually go to Milwaukee? I know IndyCar goes there. I think trucks went there, but... I'll have to have someone in our YouTube chat and or yourself fact check me there. So that'll be the end of our warm-up. No, it won't. There's still a minute left. I'm just waiting for admin to give the call here. Trying to do some mental math, see how many drivers we have. I do think everybody is making the grid. We did have 2 DNQs yesterday, but it does appear that at least surface level, everybody will make the show. And you'll see that. That was the 85 missing the entry to the pit stay. That's Jeff Wilson. That's something that if we do have green flag stops there, I know that's a stretch statement. Pit road here, not very easy.
No, you got to dive down pretty much mid-corner to get there. And then even the exit, you're just getting spit out into traffic. There's not really much of a blend zone whatsoever. That inside retaining wall comes up straight to the racing surface. So this is one of those tracks where I think having a live spotter just for the purposes of pit road exit would be a huge benefit. You do not want to find yourself Kevin LePaging the field. That would not be ideal, but it is going to be tough. We'll see if we have to face it. I'm going to remain optimistic, and I'm going to say that we see a green flag stop or two. tonight. And these guys, the admins have had some talks, and the drivers have had some things pounded into their heads. So we'll see if it works. Also, speaking of higher graphical fidelity, Corey, I'm looking at these infield cars. This is the refresh. This is what we got in a refresh. Those are about 16 polygons.
Well, it's up from the 8 that they were when this track was built down in 2009. So
that is true.
although Miles the Monster is holding a Dodge Charger out in the midway down there, so take it for what it is. But again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in here. Let's go down for our Central Mobile Home starting lineup. If you're looking for a new home, small or large, a shed or triple crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Home, serving Florida customers for 30 years with a plethora of large and small home floor plans, shed designs, and triple crown trailers. Head to LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring at centralmobilehomeinc.com. But let's go down and give you that starting lineup. Alex McCollum going to be P1 on the board here with Jonathan Evans to his outside, separated by just 2/100ths of a second. We go back to Zach Carr and Alex Chilcutt. Again, we're giving you the starting lineup as it is. We'll tell you who is heading to the back in just a jiff. Brad Slaughter in 5th. Jacob Harberts in 6th spot. Josh Parrish in 7th, with Garrett Conrath rolling off in 8th. And then rounding out our top 10, Brian Noel and Travis Beckner.
Looking back from the top 10, Cody Dempster is going to be P11. Danny Ware is going to be P12. 13th and 14th going to go to Corey Bodie and Grant Brown. 15th place, Jacob Bell, the admin, in that number 77. Jeremy Miller in that 30 car, going to be P16. 17th and 18th go to Garrett Grant and Hayden Swank, the first of the Swanks. And then in 19 and 20, you're going to find Dante Curtis and Carson Burrows.
And then we'll head back a little bit further, and we'll find Jeff Wilson and Aaron Johnson. Ryan Swan in the Hot Sauce Mobile with Ryan Nowicki to his outside in 24th. 25th will be Zach Nerney. He was a DNQ yesterday, made the show here today. Kyle Taub in 26th. Trevor Edwards in 27th with Chris Seidenfaden in 28th. Stephen Oberstadt and Ben Pierce 29th and 30th. And then just to round things through, I think we got 35 here. Chase Swank, Jeremy Brown, Forrest Smith, Dawson Miller, and Logan Hartman will be shotgun on the field. Now, I don't see the Cabri boys here today, so that'll be interesting from the points perspective. But let's just go over our laundry list of penalties here today. And I really had to squeeze these in here.
Yeah, there's quite a few. We'll turn on the police sirens. EOL for Thiel, Dempster, Carr, Beckner, Ware, Chase Cabri, Brown in the 46, Miller in the 47. Hart is the 18 and the 88 for the week.
And then on the top line, which usually is just for the title of this segment, drive-throughs, Smith, Renner, and Hartman. So are we having trouble getting sorted? There's nearly contact here in turn 1 and 2 as they're trying to go to the back. I don't think there was, but it was closer than I would have liked it to be.
Yeah, it might have just been a Dover moment there again. This track, it looks wide, but it's deceiving with those barriers being where they are. You slow down and people are trying to get around you. Not really much of a place to file through there, though. But that number 1 truck, once again qualifying on pole. Let's see if he can get the job done this week. Some unfortunate luck over the last few weeks has kind of taken away his opportunities. But just real quick, we do have some weather information. 78 in the air, 98 on the track. Relatively cool on this concrete surface. 3:23 p.m. It's only going to get cooler from here. 43% humidity, a little bit of wind, and no rain, which is good. I would hate to think what would happen in a rain race.
Wet concrete. I don't think, of all the rain races NASCAR has done, even the oval races, I don't think we've ever had a wet concrete race before. So. And,
well, if you want to get technical, the truck race that was in the rain at Martinsville, there is concrete on Martinsville coming out of the corners.
I can't even call that a semantic argument because there is actual fact to it. So, again, I always trust you to correct me on my NASCAR encyclopedia lapses there in judgment. Of course, our race details here, nothing out of the ordinary. I guess backup trucks, I guess I should have said, but as we all know, we'll butcher that about 17 times per lap here in this show. But 4 sets of tires. This is a short race, 125 laps, 20 laps or 25 laps shorter than last night. I think tires will be a plenty of availability We'll just see how often they get to change them by how often that we head ourselves into the pits via caution flags. But Alex McCullum in the inside lane, the pole sitter, the control vehicle with Jonathan Evans to his outside. Restarts have been difficult all week here at Dover. Let's see if we can get a clean green flag and up to speed here in the Area Truck Series. On the loud pedal, and everybody gets themselves going good. We're racing Dover style.
And they accelerated right over that bump. You can see the truck really moving around. That is the little bit of elevation they're going to have going into and coming out of the corners. They'll be dealing with all night long. They stay side by side all the way through turn one, down the back straightaway. They're finally going to get single file, it would seem. Number one truck is going to lose the number one position to Jonathan Evans, who is going to sneak on by for the lead. Brad Slaughter Jr., P3, Alex Chilcutt, P5, Jacob Harberts, P4. And they're going to go side by side for that third place as they come out of turn two. And so far, so good. We are still side by side all throughout this field, though, Corey.
Absolutely. We kept those. There's Hartman in the pits for his drive-through. And as we've said a few times, during the drive-through penalties that these drivers do muster via their incident situations, it is more difficult and more taxing at certain tracks. A drive-through here at Dover is not the same as a drive-through at Pocono. It's going to be 2 laps for that 86.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to make that up, especially when there are other drivers, I believe, taking a drive-through. If they showed up to grid, which would put him maybe not getting in the free weight round when the caution does eventually come. But in the meantime, the drivers that do remain on track, they're getting more single file. They're sorting it out pretty quickly. That number 44, kind of keeping an eye on Corey Bodie, qualified better than usual. He's usually got good race pace. He just doesn't qualify towards the front. So now that he actually started up with the front runners, maybe he's going to have something tonight. Doesn't have to do all the dirty work cutting through the field. That'll be fun to follow along with. But some other familiar names here right in front of that 44. There's Garrett Conrad. He's always a mainstay in the top 5. Alex Chilcutt, Jacob Harberts, all these guys. We talk about them every single week. They are showing why they are the class of the field. But correct me if I'm wrong. That number 30 qualified back in, 15th? He's up to 7.
Yeah, I mean, he was practicing in Victory Lane. I guess maybe he knew a little bit more than we were making out to be with Jeremy Miller. Just joking he was pulling into Victory Lane there in practice, but showing some speed here today. Again, we are missing a couple heavy hitters. Of course, Sebastian does play around in the Truck Series on occasion. Not doing it here today at Dover. But there we are getting loose off corner number 4. Aaron Johnson. There's Jacob Bell, the boss man, in the Blue Tip Pool Builders car. Hayden Swank behind him. Garrett Grant. All these drivers using those different lanes. It will be interesting, Dirt, as they do fan out. We know the trucks are slower by nature. Sometimes they don't fan out as much as the Cup car and the Nopes car will allow.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with the aero being a little bit different. I mean, these things got the aero a little correct, so sometimes it's going to be tough just to hold side by side and get up along everybody. And then you see that little bit of a fan out on the straightaway. People don't want to risk that because they want to be able to get back in line. But one thing I'm noticing is that this truck seems to be a little bit tight, Corey. I've seen some wall slaps coming out of the corner. Only seen 1 or 2 drivers get loose, but everybody seems to be fighting the tight condition. That might actually be good. I'd rather, me personally, and I know a lot of people disagree, I'd rather fight tight. If the car's not wrecking, I can go out there, I can find the limits of it, I can make laps. That seems to be what they're dealing with. Whereas the last few weeks, Corey, those trucks have been dead sideways every corner. They've been fighting a loose condition for a few weeks consecutively.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of, you'll hear a lot of drivers in their post-race interviews kind of wish the truck built loose, the car built loose. But, it just kind of depends. Where do you want to burn it out? Do you want to burn out the right rear? Do you want to burn out the right front? It does kind of affect the lanes as well. Sometimes a looser truck is a little easier to run on different lanes. On the track, Ryan Swan getting right to the rear decklet of the 24 of Dempster. Thought that was going to be a clipping situation, but they did evade. See, this is a gaggle here, about mid-20s, not missing anything up front, but this is the only pack that has yet to, I was going to say, yet to sort itself out, and proving me accurate.
Unfortunate there. Swank in the 70, the number 56 truck involved. We'll take a look at the replay. think it might have started ahead of them. Nope, just not clear, Mr. Swank. There is, in fact, a truck high, and then they just bottle up from there. And honestly, looking at that, Corey, the fact that remained a two-car incident for the most part is incredibly lucky, because that was in the thick of the field there.
Yeah, just go from a little bit higher up shot there. You can see underneath 70 was under Beckner, and then somebody else got some residual there. I couldn't quite make out who that was, but either way, that'll be our first caution of the race. Now, we're only 12 laps in, so I wouldn't expect any pit stops. I mean, again, we have plenty of tires here, but track position is going to be the more important factor here in this race. So I just, as expected, everybody will remain on the raceway, and we'll see what happens. But Evans will get the whole shot. But again, we are closing in here on a Tuesday, and if your Saturday is a little bit bored, you can head yourself over. Actually, on June 6th, it looks like Hendry County Motorsports Park next going to be active, so you can head there. Hendry County Motorsports Park, see Travis Beckner for open wheel mods, V8 Warriors, and more. Tickets $20 for adults. Basically, everybody else gets the discount. Seniors, teens, and kids age under 5 get in free. Southernmost dirt track in America, in Clewiston, is at henryracing.com. So looks like they might be taking... Oh yeah, Memorial Day is next week. Silly me, forgot about that. But taking the week off, so at least from what we're being told, they'll be back in 2 weeks, so check them out. But this will be good for Hartman. Logan Hartman getting that free pass. He didn't go 2 laps down. He only stayed 1, so this is his opportunity to recover from that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, this is going to get him back in the game, and getting back in it early. Only lap 13, and he's one of the few drivers that was probably hoping for a yellow, not wanting it to stay green, because you get back on the lead lap on lap 70, you got less time to make anything of it. But right now, still the beginning of the race, early stages, plenty of time to try and work your way up through the grid. That is the best possible outcome for that driver. He's probably glad to see this, but quick caution here. Lights are already off on the truck. You'd love to see that, as we are going to just make another 3/4 of a lap around over. You just saw Mr. Swank coming out of pit road, probably getting some damage fixed, beating the pace car. Going to try to get caught up to the tail end before they get this green. I don't think anybody involved in that did get terminal damage, but definitely going to be feeling it here. Dover, if the truck started with a tight condition, any sort of damage is only going to make that worse.
Absolutely, a very aero-sensitive track, although we have seen hundreds of times in the past, even last night, people hitting that turn 2, turn 4 wall, and the Cup cars were able to take it with some vengeance, no real issues. We'll see how these trucks do, and if drivers are still finding issues on corner exit, because you'd think aero would matter, but so many people have been pounding the right sides of their vehicles. But restarts here at Dover do tend to be very difficult for that second place car or truck as they enter that restart box right in the middle of the corner. A lot of wheel spin hopefully does not happen, although I wouldn't be surprised. But I'll tell you, these guys getting on the loud pedal nice and smooth.
Yeah, the restarts, the initial start of the race was pretty good. I'm hoping this restart is going to emulate that as we work our way through turn 1. We do get a solo leader much quicker, as is the case with his restarts. Evans was the control car, so he was able to jump the field a little bit there, build a bit of a gap. Harbert's stuck in P2. As battle breaks out for third, McCollum and Chilcutt were side by side, and there is caution number 2. The 99 and the other Swank. Oh no.
Let's go back.
It's not been a very swanky race.
Nowicki far to the inside. And, well, Logan Hartman got himself back on the lead lap. That's not how he wanted to. So I guess my million-dollar question here is, why was Nowicki so low? Did he get loose off the corner? Doesn't appear he did. I don't know why he was running so low, because there's no way you could approach the corner from that angle, and that's what happens.
Yeah,
I mean, Dirt, we did say that if this goes a sour, that we were going to be a little more normal PTR TV-esque here today, so I guess we'll start nice.
He might have thought for a moment that he was in an Indy car, and he had the grip and the downforce to enter that low. Might have just been a simple slip of the mind. It happens.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess that's why Deegan hasn't been so successful in ARCA as she thought she would have been, because she still thinks she's driving an Indy NXT car. That's it. You know, the funny thing is,
and plus, I mean,
you know, she actually thought she was going to. Her goal was to win 4 races in ARCA this season. So, I mean, that is a big goal. So, but anywho,
she has an ARCA win in the past. But
she has.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got Indy on the brain. So
she is one of the most successful female racers. She's won. She's done a lot of good things. Obviously, super good in the off-road vehicles. I'm like, let's not talk about the truck race this week with other. Anyways, don't want to get myself in trouble.
It's a podcast topic that we probably couldn't even talk about on the podcast, knowing us.
I mean, Kenny Wallace talked about it, but...
Oh, Kenny. Kenny's got thoughts on a lot of things. Hey, did you know that his brother's Rusty Wallace? Because he'll remind you every 5 seconds.
Oh, my God. There was a joke one day. It was... remember back in 2013 when they did the Sprint Cup, the Jay Moore roast? You know, there's so many good nicknames in NASCAR. There's the King, there's the Iceman, there's the Intimidator, there's Michael Waltrip. His nickname is Darrell Waltrip's brother.
Yeah, very true.
But anywho, one to go here.
I remember one time, I on a burner account one time, I tweeted Kenny Wallace, and I asked for the most random thing. I'm like, hey, give me a picture of your kitchen counter. He did it. He literally did it. Oh my goodness. I was very confused.
Well, he's in for that social media engagement, as we are as well. So give a like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Have fun with us in our chat. 2 cautions deep here at the Dover Motor Speedway. But again, up front, Alex McCollum. He was the pole sitter, but has yet to lead a lap, I don't believe. Let's validate that on the score sheet here. 0 laps led, even though he was the pole sitter. Jonathan Evans got the whole shot and has taken advantage. Now Jacob Harberts in the number 80. He is going to take his stab at getting a race restart from that outside lane, which has not been advantageous, and I'm not sure if it will here this time. But let's see what he can muster. Into the Echo Park box, and you can see the roll from Alex McCollum. He got that inside timed well. And certainly not going to work out for the 80.
Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better restart for somebody who's not the leader. That number 1 nailed that. He's able to tuck right up to the bumper of Evans, and he is going to keep him honest through 3 and 4. He's got Harberts behind, and they're going to go side by side. Here comes Bodie. In that 44, he wants P4 in that 44. I'm telling you, that truck's got a little bit of speed today. He might be one to watch out for top 5. Good showing there. All the way to the top line, though, that is going to be Garrett Conrad. One of the few working up there, and he actually kept the momentum. He did not really hemorrhage any time, so he's not going to take it this time, but he did prove that it is a viable option. And speaking of the high line, there goes Jeremy Miller in the 30. He's going to get around Bodie. Now he is going to stalk Garrett Conrad into the corner, see what he can do. That truck has gained a lot of positions on the night, made that pass on the outside. That may be the first pass on the outside, proper pass that we've seen on camera. One of, I would assume, a few more tonight, with, again, how multi-group this race has been. But all the way from 16th to P6 up front, single file. Although this time Evans not getting that 3/4 tenths of a second gap he was getting in that initial stint. Here's a quagmire here, Corey. This is quite a few trucks. The number 77, Jacob Bell, he had an incident-filled week last week, and was unfortunate getting caught up in some things. Trying to avoid that this week, but when you're boxed in like this, you're at the mercy of the wind.
The outside lane here at Dover on corner exit is not where you traditionally want to be. It really tightens up hard on corner exit. You got to pull it down the hill, and the driver on the inside usually struggles to get in line to the outside. So falling there side by side with Zach in the 27. And that battle is, where is that? Right around the 16th or so spot. Somebody in the wall. That's Ryan Swan, again, denting the can of Rick's Hot Sauce. Hopefully it's in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, he's picked up a few dings and dents, but for the lead, here comes the number 1. Qualified on the pole. He wants to take it back. He's got that bottom groove, I think. Not quite going to get cleared on the straightaway. In fact, give the speed advantage to Evans. He's going to pull up to the nose. And again, door to door through 1 and 2. Down the straightaway, it should be Evans with the speed advantage. He will get clear defending on the high side, Corey. And then Alex McCollum's going to say, okay, I see this top groove works. I'm going to try to maybe drive down the bank. And you see what he did there. He started the corner up high, drove down the bank and gained some momentum. Now he's going to duck down low. That was a classic setup. Let's see if it pays off.
Absolutely. You can see that rubber going down as well. And that rubber going down is what's making that outside groove come more into play. The inside gets hot. It gets slick. It gets greasy. Makes you want to search for more grip. But they can still find grip on the bottom here. And fighting through the aero wash, through the dirty air that these trucks do put out here at Dover with speeds upwards of 160. But I'll tell you, the track is not darkening up the same degree as it was in the Cup Series race. So we'll see if that does move the groove all the way up to the wall. The 2 races I covered this week, Dirt, in the Triple Bypass Cup Series, as well as the Area Cup Series last night, the winner, or the second place driver going for the win, was rim riding this place. We'll see if the trucks get up there. I don't know if they will, because a lot of people... Actually, let's go back a little further. Maybe they will.
Yeah, I think you also got to give it a little bit of time here. We've only made so many green flag laps. We did have 2 consecutive cautions, so we were kind of picking rubber back up from we're pacing. We're not really laying it down. So now that we're green, you're probably going to see it start to form up. And I am seeing, I'm seeing Corey Bodie smack the outside wall is what I'm seeing. But no, I am seeing the lines start to come in. I'm seeing a little bit of that shading come in from the rubber. So I think we'll see it. But in the meantime, the air got taken off Corey Bodie's spoiler there. There was nothing he could do. It was a good save. But, yeah, somebody pulled up right behind, and another incident almost occurred. A little bit behind him, though. Grant Brown in the 14.
That is a colorful truck.
Some positions. Yeah, that is quite the paint scheme. That paint scheme, I don't know why, that just screams like 2002 Busch Series paint scheme. Even though it's a fictional one, I'm sure. But
it sounds like something you would have, Dirt, an energy pouch.
I do. Grinds don't just make coffee pouches, they make energy pouches, and I do have that.
Well, Mojo, maybe another one to add to your list there, Corey Bodie. There's another form of energy. Actually, no, it's not a Sundrop car. It looks like a Sundrop truck, but it is the Tommy Guns Customs Silverado for Corey Bodie there, is going through the field. And I do want to go back to our little joking conversation under yellow. I do feel as though I may have been a little tough on Hailie Deegan when we did that IndyCar joke. I do have full respect for her. I've watched all the videos. What she's up to is a difficult task. Of course, girls in NASCAR. Isabella Robusto, she's right up there too. Got to give full respect to all those. And it's just the Truck Series race the other day. It's just a little bit different of a story. So I just wanted to clear that air up. But to lap 32... 78 of Aaron Johnson, Travis Beckner. Where did Beckner start? I feel like he's making some headway. No, he's not. There's my memory for you.
Well, now wait a minute. Okay, no, he got an EOL last week. I was thinking of last week. I was like, didn't he start in the back? No, he did not get any EOL, so he is dead even from where he started. Which, not too bad. If he can finish where we qualify, I've always considered that a good day. And he's just outside the top 10, long ways ahead of him. But a little bit of side-by-side still going on. Mr. Bell cannot get himself out of these situations, Corey. He cannot not be boxed in. He is just in the thick of it, fighting for his life back here. Dante Curtis watching the whole thing transpire. This man is under attack. We'll have to wait and see if they can maybe sort it out single file here. But
Dirt, you're versed.
You're
well versed. What is a steel block dirt late? I know what a late model is, but what is a steel block dirt late model? There's so many variants, I don't know what half of them mean. But he drives one. I know that's certainly going to be a task.
Honestly, I would imagine it's just a different size motor. I'm not 100% sure. Because there was about 1,003 different series.
Guys, I know this track, I know Daytona and Dover both start with a D, but they don't race the same way. Tell it to this pack here. They are 2, 3 wide all over this place. This is putting the rubber, and this is what's making this multi-groove racing, is this pack. Honestly, it goes from Travis Beckner in 10th, and I'll take it all the way back to, who's that yellow truck back there? I think that may be Chase Swank.
Yeah, Chase involved in that last caution and was trying to get on the recovery here as they go 3 wide in front of him. They saw it left side of the frame.
Oh,
Oh,
whoa,
boy,
whoa,
Cody
whoa!
Bodie on the outside. Brad Slaughter Jr.
Brian
the 7 is the
Noel.
pin ball in the
Oh,
middle.
junk.
Oh, Swank again. Oh, no. Poor
And they're
Swank.
still going in the beginning of the corner there, too. Well, we were just complimenting it.
Speed ping pong.
Well, let's just get the full picture here on the long shot. See Brian Noel going around, and then talked about Dover. It clogs up. Luckily, hopefully Swan got through without not denting the bottle, because it is glass, but cracking it, even worse yet. But let's go and try to deduce from the top-down cam. All right, we're 3 wide, so that's the first issue right there, and a little bit of wiggle off the corner that put Noel down the track, and then we just stacked up, and Aaron Johnson in the 78, I think, was the thing that pushed it over the edge here. Get one more look.
Yeah, I think Noel was kind of reacting to Bodie. He was trying to turn down to get away from him, and then didn't realize Slaughter was that close, probably. You're 3 wide. It's happening so fast. I can't really blame him there. Can't blame anybody, really, in that 3 wide. It was so tight. Disaster was almost unavoidable. I'm surprised they made it as far as they did. But the one driver involved in that really kind of surprised me, Brad Slaughter Jr., he qualified better than back there, I'm pretty sure. He's been losing positions tonight, and I don't know what's exactly going on with that truck, but usually he's a front runner, and he did qualify pretty decent today. But he was just a little bit further back in the grid, losing positions as that happened. So have to keep an eye on him, see if anything changes.
Yeah, Brad Slaughter Jr., let's just pull up his stats here, remind ourselves of his night here this evening, 17th from 5th. Now, I think he entered the pits maybe around 10th or so, but talking about Ryan Swan earlier, who is just exiting the pits in the 26th spot. Of course, rickshotsauce.com, some of the best hot sauces from South Florida. Lokahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, and South Beach Heat. And, of course, Rick's Hot Sauce sponsoring the Rookie of the Year battle on the Cup side of things. You can check that out on Monday night, rickshotsauce.com. But that'll be the one to go.
Not to be confused with Ricky's Hot Sauce, which is the similarly named other hot sauce, spearheaded by video game legend Billy Mitchell. Don't know why it's Ricky's Hot Sauce when his name is Billy. It might be somebody he's affiliated with. I don't know.
Ricky, Billy, well, that's just one of those awkward nickname conversations that never makes any sense. But again, that would be a podcast topic, of which this is not. Why is that not one of the t-shirt designs that I built? I have no idea, as I do pop a goob and try to look at what you're talking about. And yep, there it is. Actually, he spells Ricky with an E, so that is just wrong in so many capacities here. But we are just shy of 1/3 distance. I'd gather 32.3% done. 40 laps into 125 lap feature. Jonathan Evans, what's going on with the 12? Is this going to delay it, or are we going to get rolling? I think we're going to get rolling. Hopefully nobody has a black flag, but let's get into the box and try it again.
And away we go. Jonathan Evans trying to make it 2 in a row this week if we can get the win. And so far, he's done a great job on these restarts. Played some really good defense once things do get rolling. Jacob Harbert's P2 for the first time tonight. He's going to look low to the quarter panel. And I'll tell you what, Evans is actually going to give him quite a bit of room. He played it nice there. I think Evans just wanted to run out of the corner. He's done this so many times. And then that run is going to get him cleared away. Now it is going to, oh boy, we do have a Dodge truck down there on the apron, coming out of the pits. That's not a good place or time to exit the pits. But they navigate him. He's all right.
Yeah, that almost affected the end of the Cup Series race yesterday with lap traffic stunting Scioli and Seth Knoll on the final lap there, but didn't affect the end of the race, but certainly made things a little bit spicy. But Harbert's He is now second, and if memory serves, I do believe he got himself in victory lane this season. Yeah, he did at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so he's going to try to go for 2 here. But again, long runs here at Dover Dirt, they are a completely different animal than the short run. This track is known for its long runs, which is why there was so much oddity to it being a short run all-star race, even though it really wasn't short runs. But just because you're good now does not mean you're going to be good 40, 50 laps down the line, if we get that far.
No, and with this truck fighting tight from the very beginning, that tells me that they're going to be cranking on the wheel, which is going to wear out that right front, and it's only going to make the truck tighter. So we're going to lose a ton of corner speed, which is going to make the high and middle grooves much more viable as well. So it's going to change a lot, and I think anybody who can conserve right now, anybody who can turn that wheel just a little bit less, a few less degrees through the corner, they're going to be saving, and that is going to matter big time. And I think with the way this race has gone, they've really tried to get some longer runs in here. We've had some good stints. It has not been a caution fest necessarily. I would not be surprised if this race ends on a green flag run. We are getting close to the halfway mark. That'll be about lap 63. So, yeah, we're kind of speeding through the laps here, Corey, and I think these guys are starting to get it figured out.
Now, this race only has about 30 minutes of racing going on here. It's Jacob Bell, very slow. I don't know if something happened to him, but he is very slow right now. Yeah, this race only has 30 minutes of green flag racing to it for the 80 some odd laps left. Now, one pit stop will have to be had still for fuel and obviously tires, but something we also saw last night, Dirt, that is a big risk, as we do have a good stack up here for second, with McCullum getting second place and then battling for the fourth spot with Chilcutt. We had a green flag pit stop. Sebastian Marin pit. What happens as soon as he pits? The caution flag comes out. Very, very stressful cycle here, pitting under green at a track like Dover, where a caution could come out at any time.
Yeah, this is one where my strategy personally would be to run the thing dry, go as far as you can, because if you get trapped multiple laps down, especially late in this race, there's not going to be much coming back from that. We're going to ride on board with Josh Parrish in that number 55 as Swank gets a little bit loose ahead of him. He's going to thread the needle, passing down low, Swank into the wall. Corey, every time you cut something like that, something crazy happens. Starting to think you're doing this on purpose.
I mean, there are times where I have tried to force some action to happen. You know, I am very superstitious here. The writing is on the wall. I think it's a Stevie Wonder song. But I also do like these races playing out. I love the green flag strategies. I do love watching how these drivers will take the fall-off situation, which we haven't talked about at this juncture in the race, so this would be a good time to do so. They are 12 laps into the stint, and we've already dropped off 0.7 of a second, Dirt. So, again, going back to the green flag cycle, if drivers are willing to take that risk and they think this race has the green flag vibe, the over-under tire cut situation could be very vital.
Definitely, especially with how tough it may become to pass once these guys get that top groove figured out and they can use it for defense, just like Evans has been using it. Overtaking is going to be tough, so if you can get them on pit road, that's going to be the way to get it done. But this battle here, nice little trio of cars, starting with that 24 Cody Dempster. Then you got Zach Carr, Josh Parrish. Parrish drove it in deep right there, goes in about a truck length to the truck ahead, and then was able to make the truck stick, got through the corner just fine. A little bit behind them, there's Grant Brown in that very colorful 14, trying to make himself a part of this battle. But yeah, we've gotten single filed out. Everything seems to be calming down a little bit. Some of these drivers fighting the handling. Corey Bodie getting a little bit unsettled there. We did just see Swank get unsettled a few laps ago. So other than the handling, I think things are starting to calm down a little bit.
Now they are, and up front, it does look like Alex McCullum is getting a little feisty up here and starting to charge towards Jonathan Evans, and now we're starting to see the variable lines play. See, he's going higher, getting the clean air, also getting the momentum, drives down the hill, gets ahead of steam. Now is Evans going to go up for the block? He goes up for the block. He goes up to take the air away, take the lane away. And now McCullum says, I'll go lower. And even going lower, he didn't really lose anything. Now we're just in that aero guessing game. And now McCullum back to the top. Let's see if it works.
And I'll tell you, Evans has a bit of an advantage here in knowing that Alex McCullum's a very clean driver. I mean, throughout this season, I don't think I've seen Alex do anything that I would consider even close to overly aggressive. He tries to do things as respectfully as he can, and that includes overtaking. So he might take you up a lane, he might get on your door and try to intimidate you a little bit. But like right there, that panic lift, he gets out of the throttle. You know, he's not going to door you. He'll do everything he can to avoid it. He'll do everything but he's going to do it clean. And that puts the card, I think, in Jonathan Evans' hand because he knows, I don't think he's going to move me, right?
And that is just the trust that you do build with some of the drivers here over the course of a long season in a league. Running with the same drivers, you learn the trends, you learn what to expect. Of course, last night we did in the Cup car see what I was calling the Dover Diver come into play. I never really thought I would see a Dover dive bomb slider, but it was how Sebastian Marin and a lot of other drivers learned to pass. I don't know if the trucks have enough oomph, enough power to make that happen, but what they do have is lap traffic. Kyle Taub right in front of the leader, really choking him up in the middle of the corner there, and that opens the door and the momentum for Alex McCullum.
Yeah, that is going to be huge for McCullum if he can take advantage of it. Oh, that lap truck might be a pick. That is Noel on the bottom, and they both get around him on the high side. Noel sticks to the low groove, the 26. Made a good move getting up to the top and kind of playing blocker there. But as we continue this race and things stay green, that lap traffic will continue to be a thing these drivers have to deal with, which, given the way the last few races have been, lap traffic has not really been something we've talked about, but here it is, playing a factor. McCullum probably getting more than a little frustrated, unable to make the move, but this right here, this is quite a thing. The number 03, Dante Curtis with Corey Bodie, a little bit further back there, fighting the handling Brad Slaughter behind. Brad Slaughter, that was a four-wheel grip. I don't know how he saved that. I don't know how he even got loose. I haven't seen anybody get loose in this truck yet, but he is fighting.
Fighting for what he can there in that 14th spot. And Jeremy Miller, we talked about him moving up. He is now in 10th spot, but Jacob Harberts just drove quite easily to the inside of Alex McCullum. Did Alex have any issue here? Just didn't get off the corner, and Harberts just went into fifth gear here. No, drove down to the inside, and Alex just let him go.
Yeah, a little surprise there. He maybe used up his tires a little bit, you think, Corey? I mean, he was going at it pretty hard. He was really driving the wheels off that thing, trying to make a move on Evans, and unfortunately did not culminate in an overtake. Now he's probably fighting those tires that are screaming at him a little bit. Harberts, who was laying back, may have an advantage. Here's a potential overtake, 24, looking to get around Zachary Carr. In the number 27.
Oh,
whoa. Contact. No. What a save by the 27.
Do we do it? No.
Oh, no.
Well, it don't matter. We're under caution, and it's for Jacob Bell. Now, first, before we check the caution out, I want to just go through this sequence. I was about to say, do we give the Ricky Rudd Save of the Race award? And then as soon as I was about to utter that, they door each other down the straightaway, but the wreck was in the vein of Jacob Bell. The actual caution flag, I think. Or was it not? I'm going to wait for admin here to give me a trigger, because I don't think I see anything here. Jacob Bell high and out of the way. He was the slowest car that had an issue. All right, admin's giving me a trigger here because I didn't see anything, nor is anything coming up on my back end. But this will oh, there it is.
Oh, Swank.
That was Swank. It is not. Well, that is where Jacob Bell's incident came from. But what instigated it with the 70? 32 of Trevor Edwards. Yeah, just residual damage there for Jacob Bell. More than residual, that is pretty catastrophic. But again, this will take all the strategy out because they could definitely go 60 laps dirt. So we're down to a, not quite a sprint, but second set of tires going on here right now.
Yep, these drivers are going to get 4 fresh tires and fuel. Can't imagine anybody does anything different. We're going to throw it to a short break. We'll be back for the drop the green. Don't go anywhere.
All right, we're back here, round 8 of the Area Truck Series at the Dover Speedway. Corey Silva and Dirt in the booth here for the calls here as we head back to a restart just past the halfway point. Everybody is on fresh tires, and Jonathan Evans and Jacob Harberts will get us under green flag conditions here at the Monster Mile. McCullum trying to get what he can out of it, as he will clear the 80, and Garrett Conrath, P4, going for P3 underneath Harberts. And we are back under yellow.
That was quite the stint. We'll see what happened.
I'm going to have to wait for a cue here from admin, because this is another one of those situations where nothing stands out. And I'm one man. I don't have a trailer full of 75 people staring at monitors that still miss all of the wrecks like they do at Fox. But yeah, I don't have a... Of course, David in the booth, David in the truck, he will give us the cue. And once I find that, we will check out the caution there. But should give Kyle Taub the free pass here. That'll put us up to 27 drivers on the lead lap. Surprisingly, I'm still waiting for admin to give the call. So perhaps maybe it was debris. Maybe someone spilled some Rick's or Ricky's hot sauce on the track.
Good old Jacques Debris running out on track, getting us under yellow once again.
It will give us the opportunity to reference our admin, who is now one lap down and in the pits, and that is Jacob Bell with Blue Tip Pool Builders. You can check them out at bluetippools.com. They can get your pool up and shining to your unique style and aesthetic. They have cutting-edge technology, skilled craftsmen, and they can also do your outdoor areas, your outdoor lounging, outdoor kitchens, and get you ready for summertime. Head to bluetippools.com for no information. Head there for a lot of information, bluetippools.com.
And I've actually got good word that Jacob Bell got in that wreck on purpose so that he could get in his blue tip pool. Yes, it is 10 p.m. almost on the East Coast, but night swimming is a thing. It's popular.
I have gotten a inkling from somebody that perhaps the 70 was an issue, and if I can find the issue in short order, which I don't know if I can, I'll give it... No, he's already towed. Oh, all right, technology. There we go.
Technology.
Just lost it on his lonesome.
And that would not have been a yellow, but the truck passing by him when he was at the 45-degree angle, the simulator is going to ding that as yellow every time. So, unfortunate. But, yeah, these drivers probably a little frustrated that they got those tires heated up a little bit, and now they're putting a cycle on them already. But either way, the handling hasn't been super ideal anyway, so it may not affect them too much.
Yeah, I mean, it will hurt everybody the same, which is basically means it hurts nobody. So heat cycle does take a little of the newness off the tires. Just, it's almost like a scar. You know, you get your skin back after you get a cut, but it's not exactly the same as it was pre-injury. It's kind of loosely what a heat cycle would be. As some drivers pitting and getting their trucks fixed, Nerney and Noel trying to catch up to the field. Noel has been through the ringer here today, as can be visibly depicted by that right front fender. But Jonathan Evans has been up front quite a bit. There's Alex Chilcott trying to shake some of the marbles off. We don't have nearly as many marbles as we did yesterday, but still enough that you want to keep those tires nice and clean. In the restart box, Evans on the loud pedal, and I'll say that's the best outside restart we've seen all night.
That was, again, I said it on the last restart, you're not going to see much of a better jump for the P2 truck. Well, you just saw it. He proved me wrong. That is the best restart I've seen for the outside move in weeks. That was a phenomenal run. That's going to get him the lead momentarily. I think Evan's going to stay at the quarter panel. No, clear into the lead. That number one truck, Alex McCollum, takes it back by force. What a restart that was.
That's his first lap led here on lap number 74, and Garrett Conrath to the inside. He's been top 5 for a large portion of the second half of the race and trying to make things happen underneath the 60 of Chilcott. Started 8th up to 5th rather. And then behind that, Zach Carr. Zach Carr, he was on the penalty list. So he had, where did he start here today? He started 6th, but never mind.
No. Oh, but yeah, there it is.
Brad Slaughter
I was going to say,
was slaughtered. And just that pun is just too easy to make.
yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Oh,
with
Grant Brown either got loose or hit,
Yeah.
and then the residuals led us to that. Oh, and then we still weren't done.
Unfortunately,
Who was that? Was that Chris Seidenfaden to the inside getting some airtime?
I don't know how you get airtime at Dover, but yeah, no, he did. He absolutely did.
Well, let's go back to the initial cause of that, which was something with Grant Brown. I can't figure out if he got loose. We're going to have to go to the actual gearbox cam for that one. Was there contact, or was that rear air grief?
Air. He got loose before there was contact, so that was just air taking off the spoiler. And around he went. There was a lot of machinations going on there to get that caution underway, but a lot of things going on. And
what's that saying of with Patrick, and he has the cup of milk, and then it falls over. The machinations of my brain are an enigma, and then the milk spills. No idea what it means, but you said machination.
Machinations is like basically when there's a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes. That's, I don't know the textbook definition, but that is basically it.
That's Brian Noel trying to Well, I'll say when we checked him on the restart, he didn't have a right front fender. But through... Oh, there it is. It just... So he has a hood, but he does not have... That's very awkward damage, but maybe they could tape it on here. We'll see. Everybody staying on the track, and situations like this, Dirt, where we have what we like to kind of gather as a short race. May not feel it, but it is. There's what we like to call your bet is made lap. You can't pit if you want to. There's not enough time to get it back. I feel as though with the string of cautions, I think that may already be in play here. I don't know if they can pit from here on out.
You know, I would agree, but then I think back to what Jeremy Miller did at the start of this race, going from 16th to 6th in like 10 laps. I mean, you can pass. It's a thing, but you got to have something figured out. You got to get a little bit lucky with the traffic. It's not going to be super easy, but you never know. I think these top 2, top 3, they're kind of locked in. It has been a 2-truck breakaway every time it stayed green. So if you're going to do anything, some crazy pit road strategy might be the thing to do. But either way, lights are off. We're doubled up. And you're right, we are getting close to the end of this thing. It'll be lap 79 when we go green out of 125. So about 47 laps remaining, give or take. And that doesn't take very long at Dover. These are quick lap times. So yeah, these guys really got to start thinking about the end here.
Absolutely. Again, this race under green is only about 20 minutes of racing left here, as we're usually ripping around this place at about 23 seconds per lap. But Alex McCullum, who has finally got one in the laps led column as our pole sitter, and can the 26 of Jonathan Evans replicate that amazing topside restart? Well, the answer to that is a resounding no on the loud pedal, and there's Harberts with the push. Whole shot going to the 1 truck.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get to that solo lead. Harberts looking to take P2 from Evans if he can.
Oh, jeepers.
Looks like he's going to have... Oh, my goodness. No. Swank again.
Can we get a tally of how many Swank-related issues between each of them we've had here tonight?
Is that going to be a new caution?
Take a shot every time there's a Swank involved in a caution. I think...
Granted, almost none of these have actually directly been the Swank's fault. They just keep kind of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, this one stemmed from
Nowicki.
This one stemmed from Ryan Nowicki, that red truck to the top of the track. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Do. No, he never even wiggled. He just got stuck in the wall. It was the reactionary efforts that really caused that. Jeff Wilson was near it as well in the 85. We'll get a look from his perspective. So watch Nowicki just struggling, and maybe in the marbles, perhaps. Boom. And then we're funneling to the bottom, and then, I mean, you can't really put it on the 85 there. They're all squeezing, trying to get by.
No, that was very much a racing deal, and it has been for all but I believe one of the incidents for the Swank brothers. Only one that was directly one of their faults was when the 70 got a little loose on him on his own, but everything else has been getting caught up in somebody else's incident, so the luck factor has not been high.
But
I don't know if they walked under some ladders lately or had some black cats cross their path or what's going on, but...
Well, we do have pit stops. Now, mind you, it's 22nd on back. It looked like more at the back of the shot there, but Corey Bodie in the pits, Jacob Bell trying to see if he could get a fender back. But none of that should really have any over implications on the end of the race, but Alex McCullum up front. I'm going to just scroll through here. The only people we haven't referenced here today is shop.areairacing.com. And, of course, you can check out your merch there at that website, shop.areairacing.com, for their selection of T-shirts, hats, Adidas clothing, and other accessories. Easy to ship, quicker, easy to shop, quicker to... just go to the website, shop.areairacing.com. I can't read here today.
Man, Corey, with all the old, 90s TV that you watch, I can't believe you're not better at the infomercial thing.
1995. Have you ever needed to cook an egg? Like, have you ever needed to cook an egg on the TV? Get the Egg Cooker 9000. It'll cook your eggs, it'll cook your bacon, it'll clean your laundry for the low price of $19.95. And if you call the next 30 seconds, we'll put a second one in absolutely for free. But the first 500 callers will also get the Jumbo Waffle 4000. Call 1-800 blah blah blah.
You know, the one that I always remember, because I always thought it was just ridiculous in how simple it was a cake pan set. I don't know who made it. It might have been maybe a Sara Lee thing. I don't know. It was a cake pan set. Played all the time in the early 2000s. And it just shaped your cake. And I'm like, yeah, it makes your cakes cake-shaped.
My grandmother had one. It made every single brownie have edges to it. It was like a brownie grid. So every brownie had a crust on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Now you're gonna put me down a YouTube rabbit hole after this race, but what will happen? Well, the sun just got hidden by a cloud. That may give some temporary grip, although concrete is not as grip sensitive as asphalt tends to be. But either way, we are under a cloud. The temps will go low, the grip will go higher, and what will happen here with just over 40 laps to go? And decent job by Jonathan Evans to the top, but Harbert's looking spicy, trying to get to the inside of McCullum in turn 1 and 2. Let's nearly go 3 wide for the race lead. Oh, no, what a save!
That was a save. I don't know how that was not a wreck. The momentum he carried down to the inside should have absolutely been the cause of yellow, but somehow they keep it going. Jeremy Miller was also back there making some very aggressive moves in the midst of that. So that was very nearly 2 incidents that were avoided. Well, 14, Grant Brown, this is close to the front of the field as he's been all day. He looks to have a little bit of pace here, keeping Jeremy honest on the bumper. And I believe it was the 14 that took the air off of
but he was the one that
we were looking at before.
Yeah, he was just involved. Well, he just got by via a little bit of an issue there. But there's Dante Curtis. And oh no, Travis Beckner bottom a 3 wide, entering turn 3. That's Trevor Edwards and Ben Pierce. Ben Pierce pulled the parachute there, said, I don't want to be a part of that. Allowed us to survive as Ryan Swan, through all he's been through here today, he's actually knocking on the door of a top 10, getting himself up to 13th in the Rick's Hot Sauce Silverado.
Not a bad recovery with all the attrition and damaged trucks out here. You keep it clean, you can capitalize, have a good clearance day. Maybe that is what Swan will achieve here. But side by side for third place, Alex Chilcutt on the bottom. It is going to be Harberts on the top, Chilcutt on the top, Harberts on the bottom. And Chilcutt using that high line momentum, he will get clear despite a little bit of side draft. So put Chilcutt P2, put Harberts in fourth. I don't know, all sorts of turned around here, but Alex McCollum leads this single file pack, continuing to show them the way after qualifying on pole, not leading too many laps leading up to this point, but taking it back and not quite giving it up yet. Jacob Harbert, Zach Carr, Jeremy Miller back there, not able to stick with this lead pack. Corey, as he is falling back, these two here going side by side. Dante in the 03. A little bit of a wall tap there. I think those heat cycles might be impacting the handling.
Yeah, they are seeming to struggle a little bit. And again, this is awkward because, it's a little unexpected because, again, as you can tell, the cloud has come over the racetrack here, so that will lower the track temp. And as I said, concrete is usually more consistent when it comes to temperature. You hear like a track like Charlotte where 1 degree difference can make the track feel like a completely different place, but either way, it must have some small difference at the very minimal here. But Jonathan Evans trying to get the lead back. He has led a myriad of laps here today, upwards of 72 of them. And he wants it back, and he's going to the inside. But that outside lane, starting with every lap that goes by, that outside lane is just becoming a little bit better, a little bit better. And as we said, that's where it makes passing that much more difficult.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It opens up another lane to try to make the pass, but it also means that it can be used for defense. So it definitely clutters things up a little bit as we follow along here on board with Travis Beckner, who usually is one of the top contenders. He's had a bit of a rough day. Didn't qualify the best. Got involved, I believe, in an incident earlier. Now he's slowly working his way back inside the top 10. So on the recovery tour, but doing it very late into this race. Lap 92 out of 125. We're getting down to the end of it. There's more points to grab if he can just catch up to this next pack. He is staring him down. The number 27, Zach Carr. He's been getting some camera time, getting involved in some good battles tonight. Now he's got Jeremy Miller to deal with. Using that high groove we talked about. That is not the first time Jeremy's done it. When he gets that truck to stick up there, Corey, it really sticks. And I mean, he gets real good momentum. But that right there, I think that momentum was taken away by the dirty air of Harbert's diving out of line. Slows him down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You try to run those upper lanes, because it does offer you more momentum, but it does offer you clean air. And when you have somebody in front of you taking that clean air, well, now you're just stuck in dirty air, but on a different part of the racetrack. A little bit further up, Jonathan Evans still sticking down right to the bottom of the racetrack, along with Alex McCullum, 27 down low, and now get Grant Brown in the 8th spot. He has joined the chat here. You got Dante Curtis in the 03. So really second on back right here under a gaggle. They're even in a gaggle, perhaps. But I'll tell you, McCullum is not getting out there. But who is getting out there is Alex Chilcutt with the run to the outside.
Yeah, Chilcutt's really finding something here late in this race. He was up and around the top 10, top 5, but now looks like a real contender for the lead, as does Jeremy Miller. Looks like he's going to make the move for P3. He will get around Evans, who did lead so many laps tonight. They'll go side by side for 4th place. But yeah, your new top 3, McCullum, Chilcutt, Jeremy Miller. And Miller has been a passing machine. He's had about the easiest time getting around people that I've seen. Just getting it done in one corner, not having to set it up, not taking place over multiple laps. So keep an eye on him. Chilcutt again gaining speed late in this race, and Alex McCullum, he's been so good tonight, but not able to walk away with it. And they are within a tenth of a second. They're not letting him get out of striking distance. So as this race winds down, this could be one heck of a battle. Still side by side for P2. You see Harberts and Carr going side by side, but now on board with Miller. Let's see what exactly he's doing through these corners. He's going to go to the high line here. A little bit of dirty air on corner entry, but that 60 drifts down. The dirty air goes away. You should get a good run here. You see those RPMs. Yeah, he's really rocking that high line. He's doing a good job of it. We do, Corey, have a little bit of lap traffic coming up.
We do, and Alex McCullum as well has seen what's going on, and he has changed his lane to go up to the top of the racetrack. Now, this driver going very slow. That's Nerney. And as we've seen in the real world, there's no place to hide here at Dover. Whether you're high or low, you're in the way. But he did the best he could to help the leaders out and not affect the race. But this is going to be huge because now Alex McCullum, now that he is running high, he's getting that benefit of the momentum, but he's also taking the dirty air and putting it on the nose of Chilcutt and Miller. But look at Miller. You go high. I'll just go higher. Into the marbles,
well, you got to be careful with that. Because you can only go so high before that safer barrier reaches out and grabs you. He tried it, and I think you're exactly right. This number 1, that's a conscious decision to go to that higher groove, put these guys in dirty air, and give them a little bit of an obstacle to overcome. And Jeremy's trying to get even higher up the track, but it's not working out. Losing a little bit of speed there. Here comes the number 80 trying to take it back.
And one thing that running a higher lane does do is it's a greener track, which means there's no rubber in it, which means the only way to put rubber in it is to take rubber off your tires and implant it into the racetrack. So it does wear the tires more as you build in that lane. And now Harberts has taken the spot, and Harberts running lower. So maybe that outside lane was only good for a few laps, and now the Dr. Feelgoods aren't feeling too good anymore. As Miller, never mind, he may get to put a new set on. Grant Brown around. Grant Brown, pardon me, Garrett Grant, some below the Grant. 5 truck.
All right, that's going to make things interesting. I think we are going to see some takers down pit road.
Well, I said Grant Brown, so I wasn't totally wrong. Oh, the old classic. The old classic, who came up, who came down.
I don't think Grant Brown came down all that much. It's tough to tell from that angle. This angle will tell the story on board here.
if he had much room to go there. I think the Garrett kind of squeezed himself there into that spin. That's at least how I take it, but we'll see what admin decides to do here as we are now back up to live footage, back to the pace truck. Now, there's 21 laps to go. We've been on the racetrack for 37 laps, so I talked about, are you going to be able to pit again? Well, I think the answer is going to be a resounding yes, but will anybody, I guess, take 2 tires will be the question.
Well, they're lining up now. This could be a fake out. We'll have to watch and see. It's not going to be a fake out. There's the commitment line. Everybody's coming down pit road, save for
probably the lappers,
just
I imagine.
Few. Yep, might be the trucks that were lapped down. But they're all
get a free
tires.
pass.
Nobody risking staying out on old tires. I figured we'd get a few, Corey, but did you expect the whole field?
I expected the ball to come in, but the million-dollar question is, what are they going to do now that they are in the pits? Will everybody take 2 tires? Will anybody take 2 tires? I mean, there has to be somebody. I don't think we've ever seen a race where the unanimous strategy. So we'll just watch those jacks go up. And who will exit first? There's the 30. You can tell he sped to the zone there, trying to get sorted out. And first out of the picks is Alex Chilcutt. And that is not 2 tires. That is 4 tires. That was just a really good stop for Alex Chilcutt.
Good in and out time. That'll put him up in P1. The restart will be under his control, but I would not count out McCollum. The best restarts of the night go to that number 1. He has been on the ball, took the lead from the outside on one of these restarts. So even though he lost the lead, it's not over yet. It's going to be a heck of a battle when this thing goes green. And you got Harberts, you got Miller, all of these contenders that have shown so much speed tonight. And how about Dante Curtis at 0-3? He's pretty close to this lead pack as well. So some interesting shuffling of the typical running order this week.
Absolutely, as this race has, I mean, it's had a bunch of cautions, and not a ridiculous amount, but more than a normal race would have, and we've had a fair share of attrition. Logan Hartman, Aaron Johnson, Carson Burrows, and Jacob Bell out of the race. Hayden Swank 38 laps down. Chris Seidenfaden is 30 laps down. Then you have Jeremy Brown, who's 3 laps down. Followed by Nerney, who is 1 lap down, and 25 trucks still on the lead lap as we're to come to 19 laps to go. And Alex Chilcutt, which I believe for the first time tonight, no, not the first time. No, it is, because he's led this lap under caution. So this will be the first time he has led the race and been in command of things in that silver Hendry County truck. Can he make it happen with 19 to go? McCullum and Harberts and Miller got to watch out for the 30 on fresh tires.
Yeah, that'll be a show, I think. He's going to give it his all. Whether or not he gets there, I don't know, but he's going to give it his every effort regardless. Green flag flies, and another phenomenal restart for the number 1 is going to keep McCullum side by side. He's going to try to get down to that quarter panel, put as much air on that wing as he possibly can. No! It's too much pitching. He gets loose. P2 goes to Harberts. He's going to hold up Jeremy Miller. Here comes the number 27 on the attack. He wants to try to take third away, capitalize on that mistake. Oh, such a good restart, all for naught as he makes that little bit of a mistake. Chilcutt going to be your definitive leader for the moment.
Now Jacob Harberts in second. Remember, he's going for his second win of the season. He has run in second here today. He's not been able to punch his ticket to the lead at all, but don't count out McCullum on a comeback charge. Zach Carr, highest he's been today. Miller back to 5th as we have a couple wall contacts there later in the field. May have been, it was a black and green truck, but nothing to bring out the caution flag. This race, only about 5 minutes of racing here to go. Got to get it right while it's here. Here's Jeremy Miller looking low on Carr, but nowhere to be found. Cody Dempster looking high on Dante Curtis just at the tail end of the top 10. And McCullum into the wall once more.
Yeah, that was a good hit, too. That might be a little bit of damage. Have to see how he navigates the corner. I think he gained on the 80, so, maybe that damage, if he got any, didn't really do too much. But Chilcutt, 2/10 of a second lead. Jacob Harbert's P2, but he is under fire. That number 1 truck, he's wheeling that thing, man. He is flirting with the wall, skating that thing around the turns. He is giving it everything he's got to try to pass this number 80. And passing has been so difficult tonight for these guys. I think when we hear from these guys in the interviews, that's going to be the recurring theme. They're going to talk about how tough it was to pass. So they know if they're going to get it done, they've got to throw some major haymakers. And that is what McCollum just did. Back to P2. Now you can play the Jaws theme. He is going to try to reel in Mr. Chilcutt.
There's Chilcutt getting the dominant win at Sonoma in the middle of April there, looking for his second win on the season, but his first on an oval. Has been up front quite a bit, has had some success, but not that pinnacle success into victory lane. But Alex McCollum going to try to eat into that gap here. 0.3 of a second. He's going to need to do something different. And this is usually when the second place driver, in every race I've seen here at Dover, the second place driver rips the fence, the leader is ripping the bottom. But as soon as McCollum maybe does something different, I would not be surprised if Chilcutt does the air block to try to take it away from him.
Yeah, and you see right there, McCollum does go a little bit higher through the corner. Didn't really gain much. So through 3 and 4, let's see, where do they go? A little bit higher this time than even the last. So he's migrating up the track. He's trying to figure it out. And I think he is actually going to gain a little bit that lap. Look at the last lap time. 5.32 for McCollum to a 5.83. So, yeah, he did gain. That's not going to be enough, given there's only 11 laps left. But big run down the straightaway here, Corey. That's closing in 2 truck lengths. I don't know what he did through 1 and 2 to find that speed, but now through 3 and 4, when they cross the line, keep an eye on that lap time. I think we'll see about a 10th or 2 gains with a 7 for Chilcutt and a 6 for McCollum. So, yeah, about a whole 10th there, and I think that was in 1 and 2 alone.
And then you saw him go all the way up to the fence there. When he does that, you can see that live gap go low, and he's going to send it on in there right to the door of Chilcutt. Will he be able to maintain that time gain there, or will he lose it on exit? I'd say it was still a net gain. But now again, Chilcutt running a little bit higher, and Harbert sees open real estate to the inside lane. He pokes his nose down there to no fruition. And this is what we've seen. All these races at Dover have all come down to some great finishes, and I think we're in store for another one here tonight.
We might be. All 3 of the leaders, I think, tap the wall coming out of that corner. 0.2 of a second from first to second. Harbert's is right there, and don't count out Zach Carr. He is challenging that 80 as well. Oh my goodness, lap traffic ahead. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's just one single truck. He's going to get up to the top line. They're going to navigate around the bottom. No harm, no foul, maybe. As number 80 has to duck low. There's actually advantage to Chilcutt in that Hendry County number 60. Last time around, gained a little bit of time. So this is fluctuating back and forth, but it's not over yet.
It is not over yet here at our Area Truck Series race. Our race recap, 7 cautions, or rather 8 cautions for 22 laps, although the race has flowed pretty nicely. 3 leaders, only 2 lead changes, and McCollum, second place, fastest lap of the event. Steven Oberstadt has caused this race to get a little bit more interesting. It was a swank.
Well, more camera time for the swanks. Try to take a look. That last angle didn't really show us the contact. Hard to really tell who came up, who came down. I think that's 50-50. Swank was coming up. The truck was not really arcing out of the corner in the way that you'd expect him to. So I'm admin. That's a racing deal, but I'm not admin. I am a boneheaded commentator, so that could very well be wrong.
Let's go on board here. Up. I think I'm almost certain that's going to be a racing deal. But just the fact that a swank was in it, again, they have just been the Velcro to anything that is an incident here today. See what admin calls. I mean, 5 to go. You can't pit right now. I mean, if you're in the back, you can. Oh, snookered.
Oh, no. Oh, Chilcutt, what have you done?
Oh, Hugh Acon. He's so lonely, and he has nobody, well, within the top 10 to call his own. That old situation, Dirt, when you're the leader on a late race caution, head into a green-white checker. Whatever decision you make is the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where I guarantee you, if he had stayed out, everybody else pits, and then they still got an advantage. That's the trouble with these late race restarts. It's just whatever the leader does, you do the opposite. It's very tough to win if you're Chilcutt there, but I think it's better to stay out and let them be on 10-lap fresher tires than to have to restart tail end of the field with 4 to go. Definitely not the play there. Now that I've said that, though, Corey, he's going to pass 20 trucks. He's going to win this thing.
Well, I mean, if anybody is hoping for 3 green-white checkers that he is not involved in, it might be, I guess, Alex Chilcutt. Race admin are giving the 2 incident point system penalty to the 71 on that incident. So they are saying Swank came up the track. So that will not add to the positive tally of swankness here this evening. Of course, we have one more race here this week for area. We will be here Thursday night for the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series in the NOPES cars or the No Wraps cars. I've still had some heated debates on which acronym to use, but take your pick. We'll be there on Thursday night. And then we will have, I believe, a week off. Yes, that is indeed the case. And we'll be live the 1st of June, starting the next week off at Darlington for all 3 series for another triple header. So if you like Dover, which I have begun to like Dover a lot this week, you got one more to look forward to on Thursday. But either way, green, white, check. No, this is not green, white checker, Dirt. This is lap 123 coming to 124. This is a regulation green, white checker.
So will not use up an attempt. That is interesting to see. Lights are off. We will be pulling off. So it'll be a shootout. Now that number 1 truck, phenomenal on the starts. He will be the control car. So should be solo leader, I would imagine, by the time we get to turn 1. But crazier things have happened. Pace truck is in. Barney's got the green flag, hopefully for the last time tonight, in hand. And as we roll out of turn 4, there it is. Big jump for that number 1. Don't think he quite... Yep, he is going to get cleared, but here comes Harberts through the tailgate. Side by side for 3rd to 37. Dives it in there. Nearly makes some contact. 27, I'm sorry. Nearly makes some contact, but they are able to avoid that. Miller up to 3rd. Side by side for P5, though. That is going to be the number 24 in the 03 of Dante Curtis. That is a good battle transpiring there. The leader trying to walk away. There's the white. Race is going to be official.
Jacob Harbert's looking to the inside, and he actually has something to mess with here. He has a run. He's going to try to dive to the bottom here. Are we going to have a Dover photo finish? I don't quite think so. McCullum has the run off the top. Harberts can't get the bite off the bottom. Give the win at Dover to the one of McCullum.
Well, you like to see that. McCullum has had some really good runs, had some really bad luck, and now he's finally got the job done in victory lane here at Dover. And he earned it. He led laps. He qualified on pole. Wasn't necessarily the dominant truck of the night, but definitely was the one that was there when it counts. That number 1 is number 1.
Yep, and he will burn it down here. And the benefit of Dover, as Jeremy Miller showed us in practice, you can drive to victory lane. And hopefully he'll do that here for the photo. I'm sure he will, but also for the photo, he'll do the burnouts here for his first win here on the season. Don't tank slap the rear. You got to pass that thing in tech. But while he celebrates, let's go give you the final rundown of results here today from the Monster Mile. Final margin of victory over Harberts. McCullum gets it by 1/10 of a second. Harberts with the second, Jeremy Miller with third, Zach Carr in fourth, Cody Dempster in fifth. Chilcutt worked himself up to sixth after that pit stop faux pas to say. Dante Curtis, Travis Beckter, Ryan Swan with a top 10, as well as Grant Brown.
Outside of the top 10, Danny Ware in 35 is going to be P11. Trevor Edwards is going to be P12. Chase Swank 13. Jeff J. Wilson P14. Garrett Conrad 15. Garrett D. Grant going to be P16. Josh Parrish, Brian Noel, Kyle Taub, and Ryan Nowicki going to be P20.
The rest of these drivers here all have issues, multiple laps down, and did not have the days they would like. Obviously, Hayden Swank there in 29th. We talked about the Swanks not having the day they would prefer to have here, and the last two drivers, Smith and Miller, not taking to the grid here today. It was a 33 truck field. But we'll head down to Victory Circle. We do have some of these drivers queued up, and we do have our race winner, Alex McCollum, getting the win from the pole here today. Although you didn't lead too many laps, got the pole and got the lead when it matters, man. Just kind of talk about how that race was from the driver's seat.
Yeah, that was a pretty good race. I knew I had really good speed throughout the run. It's just, honestly, just whoever had clean air was going to end up winning the race. So it was a good 10th or 2 better out front, so I knew how important clean air was, and I tried capitalizing the top spot on Jonathan early on, and I ate it pretty good, burned my right ear up. So yeah, finally got a win. I knew I had really good speed, just needed a little bit more luck.
Just talk about your mentality, man. Obviously that caution that set us up for that 2-lap shootout. What is your brain thinking when you see that 60 snooker himself in the pit lane? Was that just like ching in the bank for you?
Yeah, that was, I think, the race winning move right there for me. So tried faking him in, and I planned on staying out and hoping everyone else stayed out. So, and he kind of fell for it, so played into my favor right there.
Absolutely the case here. It looked like, although so you didn't lead the most laps, but you were there when it mattered. You are now just outside. Actually, after this, you'll be in the playoff line. You were 3 points out. A lot of difficult tracks coming up here to round out the playoffs in the chase picture. We got Milwaukee, Darlington. We got, Talladega in there. So how nervous are you there balancing that cut line?
I feel like Darlington and Milwaukee are my best tracks right now, because it kind of drives like a short track, and I come from a short track community. So normally I'm fairly really good at Darlington, and I feel pretty good about Milwaukee. So honestly, anything can happen with these races, so you can't expect too much. So I'm just going to take these races one lap at a time.
That's right. That's the only thing that you can do, man. Well, congrats on the win today. I'll give you the floor for any shouts you want to give.
Thank you. I just got to thank you guys for broadcasting, all the guys at Area for putting this league on. It's always fun to race with y'all. So, and thanks to 609 Motorsports, I think we got finish 1-2 right there.
Absolutely. Congrats on the win, man. And week off. We'll see you in a few weeks at Darlington.
Thank you.
Now second place, ever so close. Thought he almost got that second win of the season, but Jacob Harberts with dirt.
Mr. Roberts, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jacob, so close yet so far. You were up inside the top 3 all night long. I might have had race-winning pace, but Clean Air seemed to be king, and you made a big swing at it at the end there, just not quite enough. Tell me about your race.
Yeah, overall, really happy with the run. Can't be mad at it. I think my best shot of getting the win would be if we had a very long run to the end. I was really lacking short run pace compared to some of the front runners, but was, opposite end of that, was really able to save my tires, and it really started coming in on some of those longer runs that we had, but just not long enough really for me to really work my way up to the lead. I think there were times where we get around lap 20 in a run where I have the pace to be the fastest truck, but with it being as hard to pass as it was, it wasn't enough time for me to make a move. I needed even more laps to have a shot, or maybe even green flag pit stops, just to kind of offset my cycle and get some clean air.
You mentioned how tough it is to pass. It seemed like, depending on where the drivers around you were, some drivers were opting for low line, some drivers like to run up a little higher in the corners. Where did your truck feel comfortable tonight? Did you like that kind of bottom groove, or were you finding yourself moving up a little bit?
It definitely changed throughout the night. Towards the end of the race, I think that that higher entry, cutting it down to the bottom, really came into play for us. As a whole, like you kind of saw the whole field running it. When Alex Chilcutt, that is, moved up the track, like he almost seemed like he was the first one to find it on those restarts, because how the race kind of went was everyone running the bottom on fresh tires, and then as the run went on, we kind of moved up. But he figured out right away that it works, and he made it work until that last caution we had. He got tricked on the pit entry, so that was really bad luck for him. But glad it worked out for me and my teammates. We all had a really good run.
It was a phenomenal points day for all of 609 Motorsports. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or thank for your second place finish?
Yeah, I'd like to thank 609 Motorsports for having the charters for me this season, and Alex, he's like my teammate in other leagues, so we all work together and Jeremy, we have kind of like a multi-team alliance, even though they're single charters. But yep, that was it.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your time, sir. We'll be talking to you again soon.
Thank you.
And rounding out our podium here. Oops, sorry, we got Jeremy Miller here rounding out third. It's been a chaotic season for you, brother. You obviously got that win at Daytona, but kind of up and down second part of the season. But now you get yourself on the podium, man. A good run at Dover. Just talk about your night.
Yeah, I mean, we're second in points. We're only 6 points out, and we haven't had any wreck scores since Daytona, so I think it's actually been pretty good.
Oh,
just
I might
had
be mixing series.
misfortune, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That Cup and Pro have been pretty terrible, but trucks have been good, and just this is the first podium since that race, so just first time I executed fully to get that finish, and just they wrecked behind us a lot today instead of in front of us, and that really helped. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, obviously, Dover, especially in this kind of a short race, I know strategy was certainly probably a tougher one to call. We had a couple long runs, and then we saw obviously McCullough make that call at the end. But where were you on the tires? Where were you long run, short run? Where was that number 30? Where do you feel like you would have most been beneficial here today if you could have chose the strategy of the race?
I think it was pretty much just a fifth place truck either way. I guess it's worked out the right way at the end to get a few extra spots, and good restart, really good on the restarts, just so he's able to push it a little bit harder sometimes, I feel like. So get a lot out of the tires in those situations, even when they're older, and was able to beat my buddy Zach there. But, Chilcutt obviously was in a terrible situation there. 5 of us behind, and we're all staying out if he pit, and that is what happened, and that set all of us up for a really good finish.
Absolutely. And just one more question. Obviously, a week off, but we head to Darlington, so we know Dirty Air was tough here. Ain't going to be any better at Darlington, but where's your confidence level at that track? What's your history like there?
This is my worst track, and that's a track that sometimes I run pretty good with, but the truck's always a crapshoot anywhere you go because it kind of drives nothing like it's supposed to right now. So, we'll just see when we get there, and hopefully we can stay out of the fence.
All right, absolutely, man. I'll give you the floor for any shouts you want to give for your podium here tonight.
Yeah, just thanks to Matt Liveries, thanks to Vacuum Sports, thanks to 609 Motorsports. Congrats to McCullough on his first win. I know that's big for the team, big for Connor. Obviously not, representing the brand over here, but obviously still very much a core part of the component there. So Connor Horn is a very happy man tonight, and every time we make him a happy man, we are all happy.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you next time, bro. Good job here tonight. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Corey.
Always mixing my series up here. I'm drivers in all 3. I know Jeremy has been up and down, but yes, he is indeed second in the trucks. Let's see if points did update here. They did. Actually, I can't quite tell if they updated, but either way, yes, they did. They did update there, so we'll see what happens. But a good race here today at Dover. 8 cautions, but it didn't feel like 8 cautions. It went pretty smoothly with a decent finish.
Yeah, we had some good stints in there, and definitely an exciting finish. So it went better than I was expecting. It was a solid race all around, especially for Dover. We kind of expect it to be a challenging racetrack, and I think we give a little bit of lenience for the chaos at this place just because it kind of naturally generates it. But these guys did a good job. It was a good race, and again, great to see that number 1 finally get the job done.
Absolutely. So again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for our next broadcast. Be live tomorrow night with Elbows Out Racing on the road courses in GT. And then we'll be back here on Thursday night with the Florida State Builders Pro Series. And we'll have a little bit of a week off here for the Memorial Day weekend, but we'll be back with Area in a few weeks' time after that. But that's going to be Corey and Dirt signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.